This week on Tech Talk Tonight, we got BitTorrent Sync. We talk about getting into the iPhone making app business. Ameristralia comes out and starts to take over the world. All that and more coming up next.
Tech Talk Tonight, episode 84 for Wednesday, April 24th, 2013. I am Ameristralia.
This is Tech Talk Tonight, episode number 84. I'm here, as always, Braden Henze. Find me at Braden H on Twitter. And I'm here also with a person who's also always here. Gavin, how are you this evening?
I am an expert, and you still have not fixed my lower third.
But people really like this lower third now.
Expert. I am doing well. How are you, Braden?
I am also well, except for this past week, totally, it needs to stop raining. That's what needs to happen, because this whole area down here.
For our international viewers, we are in the pretty much in the middle of the United States, and we've been getting hit by rain. And your basement has many cracks in it.
All of this down here, like over where you were sitting, over where I'm sitting here.
I mean, I'm sure what everybody thinks from all the sunlight that is coming in here. It's very clear that we're in an awesome upstairs studio, but no, we're in the basement, and it smells moldy.
It does not. Everything is totally been
no. I can understand.
Jumping in on this now.
My basement also leaks a little bit here and there, and it leaked a lot last week. What's life without a little leaky rain, Braden?
Well, it would be okay if there weren't wires run everywhere down here. I was literally afraid for.
Berserk in the chat room or on Twitter said that we should use this opportunity to take donations to save the studio from going underwater.
So how does the studio get saved?
We just go live?
I need a sump pump. And the water, essentially what I need.
Well, no, we don't actually save the studio. It just goes to our pocket, into our pockets.
But that's what I need to do to this house now, is to somehow make this basement waterproof.
Anyway, it's been a slow tech week, but we've got some good stories. What's on the top of your mind, Braden? This BitTorrent thing I thought was pretty cool.
That was very cool, and I have it installed now. This is BitTorrent Sync. That's what we're calling it.
BitTorrent Sync.
In a
sync app.
We're calling it because we named it. No. I use Dropbox a lot, and this is essentially a Dropbox competitor.
Yes.
What say you, Gavin? Do you like this better than Dropbox?
I installed it as well last night. It's a product from BitTorrent Labs. And yeah, it's basically a Dropbox competitor, except it's peer-to-peer, so your files aren't hosted out in the cloud. The only cloud-based, only server-based protocols that they use are things to help your computer transverse NAT routers. So there are some interesting implications, like if you have things shared with yourself, and you have no other copies on computers that are actually online and using the BitTorrent thing, you can't actually get your files because they don't exist anywhere else.
Why wouldn't they exist anywhere else?
Because if your other computers are shut off, is what I'm saying. Which is different than Dropbox, right? Because Dropbox you uploads to the cloud and you can get it at any time, no matter where you are.
Dropbox definitely has essentially a backup somewhere out in Dropbox cloud, because they're giving you a certain amount of space.
So that's the downside. The upside is unlimited storage, essentially. And the upside is it's not in the cloud. You have control over your own data.
Now, you sent me a link to more or less link with you.
Yep.
Did you start getting the gigs of files that I was posting on there then?
No. Oh, actually, maybe I was, because I heard my hard drive spinning tonight. What were you posting? You were just trying to abuse the system.
Yeah, I was, actually.
Gosh!
You sent me your code. I was like, well, we have to test this. And no, it was episodes of Tech Talk Tonight. I started uploading those.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's the bad side, right? Anyone who has it's a public key. It's 32 or 64-bit characters long. Anyone who has that, you can actually give only read access as well, if through the advanced options. But if you give someone read-write access, they can start sending crap to your computer, and it just automatically downloads.
Right. Now, if you deleted those on your side, would they also delete on my side?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And I could just leave the share, right? I could turn it off on my
I'm
computer.
assuming.
Yeah,
I haven't
definitely
played
can.
with that portion of it, I guess, yet. But
So I mean, it's basically set up so that actually I'm not checking the chat room. Yeah, they posted the official. Oh, they're still talking about our subreddit of the week, which is coming up later, but there's some interesting implications. Like you could actually just share your key out there, and anyone could would be like essentially a public Dropbox kind of where anyone could drop in files.
or it would be like BitTorrent, like the place that you're getting through like the Pirate Bay and the places that are a little bit more nefarious.
So that brings up a question. Like BitTorrent Labs is running this. Is it like who is BitTorrent Labs? First of all,
I was going to ask that up front too. Like, what else are they making?
I mean, I know BitTorrent has been a company for a while, and basically the company promoting the method of file sharing,
right,
which is a protocol called BitTorrent, but it's also a company called BitTorrent and separate things, right? Like BitTorrent, the protocol would still work if BitTorrent, the company, was not here. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. No, I'm totally, you're right.
So where is this company getting their money? And they also, if you go to get BitTorrent Labs, they also have some really interesting other projects like BitTorrent Live, which some of our other video podcasts that we watch have
I think we're technically
tested.
Broadcasting to that. So
Oh, are we? That's cool.
I set it up. I haven't checked it lately.
And then as well as there's like a send big file thing, which is eerily similar to Dropbox BitTorrent sync, but basically it's just for sending single large files to someone.
Sounds like the old mail big file back in the day.
Well,
I think that still exists, actually.
Yeah, these services still exist, right? Because email only has a certain limit, and you don't always want to post. Those people don't have the technical know-how to post their own like file on their web server or something. So people still are paying people to share to send big files, and this is a free alternative.
Why hasn't somebody figured out like a way to incorporate this directly into their email yet? Like, why isn't either Gmail scooping up Dropbox or Dropbox making an email client? Like, why isn't that a thing?
I think there might be a way to. I thought I heard once where you could like upload a file to your Google Drive and then email it or something. I don't know.
It's still you're then like sharing a link, and I don't know. I think that's the next step to go with it, though.
So the next, what other tech stories? There was a tech story that released today that I'm just making this up because we were lacking stories. Braille display based phone was invented in India.
When? Recently? Braille display.
I just posted it in the chat room.
All right.
That doesn't give you a lot of information. But basically, it's a display that can create Braille on the fly for blind people, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I can't see it because you posted in chat. I don't bring chat up on this one, but
I think a lot about how much it must suck for people who either don't have their eyesight or don't have their ears to work, or can't control it in the normal way to have to be in a technology-centered world, right? Like you'd be limited.
Maybe have already seen something like this where the bumps essentially just pop up out of the screen. Is that what's kind of going on here?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay. I think I have seen
something. But it looks
like
also like an image, like if you have an image of a flower, it'll also like image out the flower.
Okay.
So you could feel and be like, oh, it's an image of a flower.
Well, that's why we also, this podcast, we do an audio form for our sight-impaired audiences, right? And now they have a phone that they can find the buttons to hit play and listen to Tech Talk Tonight on iTunes, mind you.
Oh, so a really popular story in our subreddit, aka it got 3 upvotes, was 4. I Wish I Was Here by Zach Braff. Did you look at this today, Braden?
We were watching it before you got here, and so this is a Kickstarter. Yay, Kickstarter, because everybody's doing a Kickstarter now. And it's interesting. He's doing it for the right reasons. Did you see Garden State?
Hi there.
No. And it seems overhyped to me.
You think Garden State is overhyped?
Yep.
Do you think Zach Braff is overhyped?
No, I liked him in Scrubs.
All right. So why do we want him to make a new movie?
Wait, what? Because
why do you want
funny.
him to make a new movie?
I don't necessarily want him to make a new movie. I posted it because I was interested. I was interested that he it's a $2 million Kickstarter. That's a lot.
Didn't
Most Kickstarters are sub 100,000. Most Kickstarters are sub 50,000.
hang on, what was the Veronica Mars one?
Yeah, that was a high one. And if you go to kickstarter.com/discover/most-funded, you can see the highest funded projects in Kickstarter history, which looks like there was some, 313,000.
Okay, 2 million. 2 million actually
One-
might be the cap.
Yeah, so like the highest comic Kickstarter ever pledged was 1.2 million. The highest dance 38,000. The highest design 10 million.
Wait, do you have this in front of you now? Because what do you think the Veronica Mars movie ended up with?
I don't know.
Take a guess. It met its goal.
Oh, that Veronica Mars is the highest. That's
Oh.
5 million.
Yes, 57 or 5,700,000.
But
closer
that's
to
not
6.
even close to the Pebble Watch, which people pledged $10.2 million.
Oh,
So I
holy
guess
cow.
setting a $2 million bar isn't that crazy
For
considering
a movie,
some
I wouldn't
of
think
these.
so.
But it is a lot, And is it does Kickstarter do the like flex funding where he gets the money no matter what, or does
No.
he?
You
Oh,
have
but-
to make your goal.
But we've talked about the workaround where you can
The
just tell
workaround-
your friend to pledge the rest,
Heck,
and then
just make up
pay
a
him.
fake account and you could pledge
Okay,
it yourself.
well, presumably you couldn't create a fake account because they're checking your credit card numbers, and you don't have multiple credit card numbers and shit like
Okay.
that.
Worst
Worst case,
You
worst
get
case
mom to do it.
situation, you get mom to do it, and you cut her a check under the table. So there's no reason a Kickstarter should ever be underfunded, honestly,
That's true.
unless you literally don't. I mean, unless you're using it for the reason that you should be using it for, and that is to
Fine to see if you have
see
an
if
actual
you-
audience.
Yeah, and if you don't have an audience, you're like, well, that means people aren't interested.
Should I tease the thing that I sent you earlier today?
Hey, if you want to.
Okay.
If it will help you.
I don't know. Everybody saw it, and now it's gone.
All right, subreddit of the week. What is our subreddit of the week, Braden?
The moment everybody's been waiting for. Ameristralia, Gavin. You ever been to Ameristralia?
That's not a country.
What if I told you it was?
Nope, it's not.
What do you think it is? You already know what it is. So
For some reason, so our podcast follows the Reddit culture a little bit. We don't claim to be Reddit experts, but we do claim to be people who try to get karma on Reddit, or I do at least.
You do. I gave up a long time ago.
So there's this movement online, specifically in the past few days, where there's been posts about how
Really,
America
I think this is just like within the last
and
day.
Australia are like working together, and how it's creating Ameristralia. Is that an accurate?
Well, I think you have to point out specifically that this is America takes care of Reddit during the day, and then since Australia is on the other side of the world, they take care of it during the night, which is actually their day. But
Well, so this, first of all, this problem breaks down because Australia is not exactly on the other side of the world as the U.S.
not exactly,
You cross the
but
international date line, but I'm pretty sure it's only like, well, I don't know how many hours. Maybe they'll tell us in the chat room. But it's not like India would be a more legitimate place, right, to be totally opposite.
actually, I remember reading this in a kid's book. If you actually dug straight down through the center of the earth, you would end up in the Indian Ocean. So yeah, India would probably be directly. But Australia is better than India. Let's just say that.
Okay, so what prompted this? They posted in the chat room a brand new story compilation of all Ameristralia information.
Do we have our own wiki?
Country, Ameristralia, people, Ameristralians, aka matriots,
Nice.
official animals, Eogula, bald duck, billed eagle, population, view subscribers, you lazy newsin.
Okay, so I have from one of the mods, and let's see here, I'll pull this up. This was what they're saying was the original post that came up with the name Ameristralia. We will rule Reddit by day and by night, and we have an eagle, a koala, and both of our flags. And this was posted in Advice Animals. And I think this started off with somebody from America or something posting a comment about, "Good night, everybody. All right, Australia, it's your turn." And Australia took it up, and I think it just snowballed from there. And the fact that, that they're going while we're at night. We should probably pull this back even further in the fact that there was kind of a less a rivalry between America and Australia, because there used to be a bunch of posts about the Americans are asleep, upvote all the kangaroos, or upvote all the koalas, or it was something like that. That was a meme for a while as well.
I'm just looking at the Know Your Meme page. There's already a Know Your Meme, and
yes, there should be.
It's true that post is what started it, and so now there have been tons of posts. A lot of them focused around Britain being pissed that.
Well, at first I thought that
because Britain both hates Australia because that's where they used to send their prisoners, right?
Supposedly.
And
supposedly, yeah.
Britain would also be kind of considered more similar to America, that Britain should be kind of teamed up with America. But
it's more of the fact that we were both colonies of the Britain. Like the sun never sets on the British Empire. You know that phrase?
It's true, but not at the same time.
What? Not at the same time? Not at the same time as what?
But we weren't colonies at the same time.
We weren't colonies at the same time, no. But we were both colonies from then. So that's where this all stems from.
That is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's a lot funny. And like all the popes with like the Queen's pictures of the colonies are conspiring, or I don't know.
The funniest one I've seen last night was like, what was it? It was like Denzel Washington or something from a movie, and they were saying like, so are we friends now? And he's like, yeah, I guess we are.
Denzel Washington.
Who is it?
It's
someone pull it up. Which
it's
one?
from Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers. It's Will Ferrell and the other guy. I've got pulled up the actual stuff that got sent in from the mods and stuff. So let me just go through this real quick in the fuck. Oh shit! I'm reading now, and
there goes our clean.
There goes the clean rating. Wow, I don't think I've ever said that on here. Anyway, they're a saucy bunch, the Ameristralians, I guess. Okay. So at first I thought Canada and New Zealand were kind of like the enemies, but it really seems like Britain has become kind of the enemy of Ameristralia.
Well, everyone knows Australians hate New Zealanders.
And we're not
Kiwis,
too keen,
as they call them.
We're not too keen on Canadians, or...
I don't have a problem with them.
Wow.
Anyway, continue your little rant.
So New Zandia could have been like the combined form of there, but the subreddit New Zandia is not like it's not really taken off. But it'd be kind of cool.
So the question is this Reddit going to live past its half-life, or is it just going to die?
See, I think I see it taking off a little bit better than this. It'll definitely stay the week. I think it'll stay longer than that, though. Definitely. Like, I even wanted to go as far as like, as far as like a theological debate. Like, could alliances really be formed like this, to the point that, like, is the internet the new alliance forming grounds?
No,
because
there are no politicians on Reddit. Only people who have too much time on their hands. But it's not to say that it won't make people like you and I like Australia better.
I already like Australia better. I want to go to Australia.
I'm predicting that this is going to turn into a fight, into a Reddit war. Like, someone's going to piss off someone, and, like, suddenly we were, it was Ameristralia, but now it's going to be like, we hate Australia, and Australia hates us.
I think we started there, though, with the whole America's asleep, upvote all the koalas. I think it was there, and now we're here with the alliance, and I think you're going to see these other factions try to go. New Zandia, Britain. Who should Britain team up with that would be an interesting match for us? Chat room, that's a question for you. Who should Britain team up with? And who cares about the politicians? France? No, I don't see them teaming up with France. I'm thinking like they need to team up with somebody like in South America or Antarctica. I don't know. That would be kind of funny.
But this also stems from the
North
fact that
Korea.
that Reddit is very English based, and that probably the most number of people who use Reddit are from the United States, and the second or third has to be Australia, probably, right?
I would think so.
You're talking English first world countries. You've got Australia, you've got the UK, you've got
who?
That's about it.
Right.
Canada.
Everybody speaks English everywhere, though. Like
That's
in
true.
small little
That's true.
factions and everything.
That's true.
We're fairly dominant in that.
But yeah, I mean,
No,
it's interesting.
I like what the chat room's going here. We should start like this covert teaming up of North Korea and Britain to make them really seem like the bad guys, at least to us. Like, make our fake accounts, come up with this North Korea. I don't know. Combine that name somehow. Make up all these false memes and
once
stuff.
Once the CIA sees your internet search
my
traffic,
internet
you're
history
going to be
is
locked up in chains.
all
anyway,
about
so
North Korea. Nah,
I'd advise
it'll be
speaking
fine.
about that.
All right, where else should we go from here, Gavin? That is our subreddit of the week, everyone. Ameristralia, I'm subscribed. I'm going to make Gavin subscribe, and we will stick around in Ameristralia.
Ameristralia. You posted about how to create your first iPhone app. You think you have an idea.
I have an idea. I definitely
Okay,
have an
let me
idea.
first say the number of people who have come to me with like, "Oh, I've got an iPhone idea." Literally must be 50 to 100 per year.
50 to 100 per year.
Probably.
How many of those are me? Because I come to you with a different idea like every other
week or
so.
I try not to shoot things down, and I try not to judge things, because just because something exists out there doesn't mean it couldn't do well, right? There can
Right.
be multiple of the similar apps. So what are you prepared to tell your idea, or are you just going to talk about iPhone apps in general?
I think we just need to talk about iPhones and apps in general, because I really want to develop this idea and make it
Okay. So how do you create an iPhone app? Do we have any app developers out there?
That would be an interesting question. You told me to go get Xcode, which I now have Xcode running on my computer.
The latest version?
Yes.
All right.
It's updated.
Now you have to pay your $99 fee.
I think I can develop the app first
Yeah, you
from
can.
the way the Xcode is set up.
You can develop the app first, but you can't. You have to like manually publish it to your iPhone to like test it. But you can do that. You can connect your iPhone to the thing, and then you can develop it. And then but you have to pay the $99 dev subscription before you can submit it to the store.
Okay.
And then you submit it.
Now you've
gets
talked
approved.
about this. Like I remember, like even when we were first starting the show, you wanted to get your hands on a Mac so you could start doing this. Have you done it?
No.
See, I think that's even the whole point of this thing, is to do it, to make an app and get it done.
It's true, but the allure of making an app seems like a get-rich-quick scheme, right? Like, it seems like, how can you not make money? But I feel like there's so many apps on the App Store, and only a certain percentage of them actually get traffic. So it's like, is it really worth your time? The market, it's almost like the market is saturated at this point, is what I'm saying, especially for iPhone.
Do we need to go Android then?
Yeah.
Rob would like us to go Android in the chat room.
Android, it's easier to develop, but I don't have an Android phone, and that's my major. Right?
I've got the
It's a major problem.
original Droid. I don't think developing for that anymore would be any good.
I dabbled in BlackBerry apps, but everybody knows where that went. Maybe Windows 8.
They're gonna make a comeback supposedly.
Maybe you make a Windows 8 app because the ecosystem isn't there, and people who have Windows 8 phones.
But then we wouldn't be able to run it ourselves because we're
Yeah.
not gonna get Windows phones.
Yeah, and I think like people don't pay attention to this fact, but like I could write an app for a different platform than what I have personally, but I don't want to do that because I want to write an app that I can use.
Right.
And I think that's why iPhone is continually the preeminent place for people to launch their app first. everyone's like, oh, why is Android a second-class citizen? I think it's just because more developers have iPhones and they want to make apps on things that they use.
And on that note, like, that's why I think our app idea or my app idea, whatever if you want to stake claim to it or not, I think that's why it's a good idea, because I actually want to use this app.
Yeah, but will people pay for it?
99 cents. Come on.
99 cents. Come on.
I only need 100 people to make my money back then. Anyway, we'll keep you posted if this ever comes to fruition, I guess.
They're saying we should develop it for Tizen, an operating system for tablets, smartphones, tablets, and in-vehicle entertainment devices.
Interesting. Samsung? Is that what it's from?
I don't know. Sounds shady.
But we don't have these devices either. It goes to the whole point of why not make a BlackBerry or a Windows Phone app.
I mean, you need to decide if you're just making something to use yourself. Are you not recording?
Yeah.
Great. If you're just making something, if you're trying to make money, you have to think about good ideas and how you can get like people to download your app. Maybe add some boobs in there to get some downloads.
Perhaps. Make your little icon that. Is that what it's come to? Is that what really needs to happen?
Dude,
let's just leave it there.
add freedom.
What else you got in stories, Gavin? Because I think we might run long, and who knows if we'll even have this episode to post.
We better have it to post.
I'll
or
have
else.
something. I can always dig up something.
NASA to use HTC ones as satellites.
What? No.
Brazilian judge has ordered Facebook to delete the profile of a 24-year-old journalist who died in May last year.
Okay.
We're just
Why?
we're shooting
Shooting
them off here.
How about VidBlaster 3? Are you
No one
excited?
cares about this.
But okay, VidBlaster is the program that I'm using for all my switching and jumping around and all this fun stuff. They finally released version 3 to public beta, and, well, I haven't gotten to play with it yet because I wanted the show to work tonight, and I knew this was going to work, so I left it.
Wait, let's go back to one I said.
Okay.
Someone in our chat room, I don't know, he may know something about NASA, says that
debatable.
Samsung NASA thing is real.
Okay, so to go into detail, what's going on with it?
Well, I'm still pulling up the story.
Well,
It's an LA Times story. Talk about roaming charges. Good one. That's a good first line. NASA's launched 3 smartphones into orbit as part of a low-budget experimental satellite program that uses off-the-shelf components. Okay, so what is it doing?
they're cell phones in space. Is that what we got?
Yeah, basically. 3 of them are up there right now.
And I'm assuming we're charging them by solar, like how they're doing the normal satellites, right?
How do you keep an Android phone like oriented the way that you want it oriented while it's twisting around the earth at 100,000 miles per hour?
Lasers. That's all I got. I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, I think
Doug tell us.
Maybe if we read the story, we would know more. I think it sounds like there's like a bigger satellite built around the phone, which makes it less interesting. The funny part about the story and why I clicked on it is that I envision this thing just flying through the space, right?
Yeah, that's why I think would be
But
fun
I don't
too.
think that's what's actually happening. I think it's like the phone is basically the processor,
Yeah.
and then they've got like
They're
solar
pointing out
shields and other bull stuff.
Wow.
Attached.
We've really anyway. They're using all the components like the GPS and the accelerometer in it. So
And then we need to bring up the Gavin's what grinds Gavin's gears last week. No, you don't play it because it's from last week.
okay.
I
have it ready though.
The favorite NASA fact of everyone, like the amount of computing power in your pocket is 20 bajillion times as much as the NASA spaceship we sent to the moon. Have you ever heard that one?
I have heard that one.
People love it.
And now we're making the satellites out of them. The satellites.
But no, it is true. It's pretty impressive how much computing power we have in a cell phone and how NASA maybe can use them in the future.
Why does it?
Or how private companies can use them when we get rid of NASA. What?
But no. Yes.
Did he just go there?
It might happen. You don't know. But okay. Chips. Okay, you've got your chips for your processor and everything that are going into your cell phone. Why is NASA going to the point that they're using cell phones when you make a processor, you make a chip, you got this giant wafer that it starts off with, and then you cut it down to those smaller processors and stuff.
I guess.
I know this for a fact. I know a guy that works on research about this. The better part of the wafer is the center part, and the chips for military devices and stuff always come from that center part, and the outside part of the wafer for the chip is where that's consumer grade or whatever. It's a lower grade portion for chips and stuff. Why is NASA going that route of getting cell phones that are not using a higher grade type device?
Because the cell phone manufacturers have already pushed the component manufacturers to get the price down. So the idea is that they don't have to spend, bajillions amount of money like they usually do. They can just send a cell phone up and it's cheap relative to what it used to cost. Also, they posted in the chat room, how many people are in space right now.com.
That's cool.
Answer is 6.
Are they all on the International Space Station? I would assume so, right?
I don't know. Do you see that the one cool thing about space I saw this week was the Canadian thing, the movie about
We can't talk about Canadians today.
Squeezing water out of the washcloth?
No.
There's a question from student in Canada who asked this, and then he recorded it. Basically, it was like, if you get a washcloth really soaking wet in space and wring it out, what happens?
That's cool. Have you seen the one where it's Alka-Seltzer? Like they have a bubble of water floating, and then he puts an Alka-Seltzer tablet into it, and what happens?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
That's a
good one.
There is a lot of space.
There is a lot of space.
It's true.
Do we have any other tech stories, Braden? That's all I got.
Well, yeah, that might be it.
Tech.
How do you get... Well, no, let's not go there. I think we're done here. Are we done here?
Yeah, so everybody...
Leap Motion. That was the other one.
What's that?
You posted it.
I think that's old.
Are you sure? I hadn't seen it. Leap Motion is basically a controller that allows you to do the Minority Report type interfacing with a computer. And I'm playing the video. You posted this, so are you interested in this? Do you want this capability to happen?
I watched the first 10 seconds, and that's about all I watched.
Have you seen Minority Report?
Yes.
So you know how he controls the computer.
We're never going to have that.
We're watching it right here.
Well, does that mean we're going to have precognition too? I hope so.
Pre-crime. Before there's crime, there's pre-crime.
Oh, no, because that movie proved that it can't happen.
That's not true.
Basically, this is a Nintendo Wii meets like Microsoft Kinect, but it's like super
it looks
accurate.
super sensitive.
Yeah. And I mean, things are definitely going this way. Would you want to control a computer like this? I don't know. I probably wouldn't.
I would like this capability.
The thing is that things like this make a great demo video, right?
And it really looks like they're trying to do this on a Apple device, don't you think? With the style, like iMac style video or computer that they're using, showing this on. Could this
Can
be
you
the
buy
thing
it?
that's...
Oh yeah, it's available for pre-order. Someone in the chat room said they have already pre-ordered it.
Damn.
I mean, I like that.
Send one our way.
I like that they're pushing technology forward. It's kind of in the vein of Google Glass, just
Right.
like this could be a crazy idea. I mean, it's kind of building on other things, but let's put it out there and see what happens.
I think we're...
Wonder why they didn't do it by Kickstarter.
Maybe they had other means that they could go through to actually make it happen. It's a good enough idea. They don't need Kickstarter. Kickstarter is going to be a thing of the past. It's got 6 months lifespan.
Anyway, we should button this up.
All right, where can they go and find you out on the interwebs?
Well, everybody can follow me on twitter.com/GavinR, but thanks for everybody who's watching. Make sure you go to look on the right-hand side column of our live page here. You can see how to subscribe in the method that you want to, either YouTube, iTunes, vote us up on iTunes. You can join our subreddit so you can contribute stories. You can follow our Twitter. We always tweet out when we're going live. And you can call us on the phone. Has anyone ever called us on the phone, Braden?
I don't think so.
You could be
I've
our
never...
first caller
That would
to
be
leave
cool.
a message on our phone, and we will play it as a follow-up feedback. Where can people find you, Braden?
They can go and find me on the Twitters as well, at Braden H. And they can, what I haven't plugged in a while, henzedigitalmedia.com. You can go there. But really, you should be spending all of your time at techtalktonight.com. And definitely go through that side column of all of our information stuff. There's a lot of great stuff there. And the subreddit. The subreddit is a great place. Random stuff popping up there all the time. As, you know, we can't even keep track of it ourselves.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yes, thank you, everybody, for being here. Apple Butter, Human I can't pronounce it, but you guys are new to us tonight, and we really thank you for being here. Ameristralia, everybody. Say goodnight, Gavin.
Adios.